Hey guys, Mark from BlueSea Bushcraft and Outdoors. Well, I'm here at BlueSea's cabinet and I got another product to review. I got another Vevor diesel heater. Ironically, my other Vevor diesel heater video is my most popular video on my channel. Anyway, I didn't want to take one back and forth to here. I wanted to use it for camping, ice fishing, heating the cabin here in the winter. So I bought another one. Anyway, we're going to dig into this one and we'll set this one up just like the other one. So keep watching. So I thought I'd mention this new one took forever to come in. They were out of stock for months there. It's kind of late in the season to be getting it, but it is what it is. But this new one has lots of great features. So let's unbox this right now. All right, let's get this heater out of the box. She's a nice, like, kind of off-white color. And then you have all the contents and the instruction manual in the bottom here. Alright, we'll get up on the table and take a closer look. Well guys, here's the new heater. You have the outtake here for your heat. Comes out here. They have a new LCD screen controller. And they also have a carbon monoxide detector. And to the top, they have these nice new fold-down grab handles. A new remote with on and off and put the temperature up and down. You have a new, they say, leak-proof cap that's more like an automotive one. The exhaust now comes out the side, not the bottom. They have the new AC/DC plug-in here, which the previous models didn't have. You have intake in here for air. You have the new fuel gauge on the sides. You can see how much diesel's left in the heater. Some nice decaling on the side of it. And then back to the front. And actually, I'll just show you the bottom as well. It's all sealed, so there's nothing coming out of the bottom. Alright, let's get into the box here. So this is the new AC/DC adapter, which I really like because the other one I had to build my own. So this one comes with it, almost like a computer plug-in in the back. Nice grounded plug on it. There's your outtake hose, and it's got a new quick connect, I guess, to go onto the front of that. We'll look at that later. Exhaust pipe. That goes on the pipe there for directional airflow out of it. You can hook it up to a battery as well. Same connection to the back. The dinky little muffler they give you with it, I'm upgrading that obviously like my other one. And then you got the abundance of parts here. This is an extra cord for the carbon monoxide. You got some feet for the bottom of the heater, so you can set it up higher off the ground. And then you got some other clamp for hoses, etc. So as you saw, I had everything laid out here, but I told you I'm doing some upgrades. So here I have a fuel filter for it, just a little kit. All the stuff is off Amazon, these extras. I've got some exhaust wrap. I didn't want to do the wrap one, so I got one I'm going to slip over the pipe. This is a 1-inch wrap. Heat shield. Dryer vent. Upgraded muffler. That's on my other one that's over here. I'll show you a comparison in a few. These are pretty good. They make it a lot quieter. 2 pieces of board to put on his legs, which go on these brackets here. These are from Home Depot. These are just some nice size screws that fit perfectly into these and they don't stick out, so nothing to catch on. Now this portion over here is a Vevor kit itself. It's actually cheaper than buying stuff separate like I did previously. So you get the 2 pieces of hose, you get 2 vent outlets here, another piece of exhaust pipe, applicable clamps, this tee off. So that all comes in one kit. So we'll slowly start putting this together for you. So I thought I would mention this. The manuals have gotten a lot better. I mean, they're translated from, I guess, Chinese. So the ones in the past weren't very good. And the translations were very weak. Granted, these diesel heaters are made in China. People like, you know, a couple comments on my video for my last one, like, they're not top of the line. They're going to have issues. They're going to have flaws. For what I use them for, perfect. They're not expensive. They're cheap, and for my use, I'm dragging around the field, so you get what you get. But I mean, my other one here, I've had no issues per se with it. It works great, it's flawless. So this model here is what they call the Zulu mic ZM8003, or it's a model Zulu Mike 8006. I think is what it is the tall one. And then you got the flat one like this one, which I find are more stable, so I don't go with this one. Alright, we're going to put these legs on. I'm going to put a little bit of blue Loctite. It's not going to hold great, but just so they don't loosen up. Okay, there's one. We'll do two here. There we go, it's nice and tight. So I'll do the last three here, and then we'll move on to something else. So I've got the feet on this, and then we'll cut these to length what we want to use here for the legs, like my other one. They're nice to protect a little bit. It gives you a little bit of space from the ends, and also keeps a little bit further off the ground. It gives you something to set it on without scraping your heater all to pieces. So. And then I got, like I said, I got these screws. These are 1/4 by 1.5 inches long, so perfect size for this. And I got a washer as well. All right, let's get these going. All right, I'm gonna cut each one of these at a foot, and I'm gonna whip the ends off here, and I'll attach them in a second. So I like to sand these down a little bit, and then I just cover them with a little boiled linseed oil to protect them. There we go, nice and smooth. Edges are nice and rounded. Perfect. So I got these all marked here, set them up so they're equidistant here. Left a little bit of an edge sticking out to protect it if I'm moving it or packing it somewhere. So it'll keep this from getting damaged because this juts out a little bit, gives it some space. So anyway, there we go. Then eventually I'll drill the holes here, pilot holes, and put the leg bolts in to hold them on. So there's where the holes I marked. I'll countersink those soon, the drill bit, before I screw them onto the legs on the heater itself. But I'm just going to put a coating of this linseed oil on it and let it dry. I just rub it in. The ends always soak up the most because they're the driest where you cut them off. There we go, we'll let that dry, and then once it dries off, I'll attach them to the heater, but we've got lots more to do with the heater, so there'll be ample time for this to dry. Alright, here's the old, or the original one I bought, and here's the new. So you can see they have different new LCD screens. This one has like a dial operation. Here are the two remotes. They're pretty much the same, just different shape. I'm sure they're not much different. Same buttons, on, off, plus, minus for up and down. The outtake is the same, minus this one is a quick connector and it's got a little ridge on it in the top and the bottom. The top here, this one has one giant handle. This one has two fold down handles. Now they say, like I said before, this gas cap is supposed to be better, more like an automotive one, doesn't leak. Now I've had no issues with this one myself, so I can't say much for it. I've never had it leak on me. Some people say they do, but maybe I'm the lucky one. Let's flip it to the side here. As you can see, all this was is like for connecting things, the screwdriver slot. It really does nothing besides that. But this one has the exhaust now out the side, whereas this one comes out the bottom. And this one here, the air intake, I gotta fix mine, it's a little broken here, is on the inside. Same vent, pretty much the same back per se, minus I had to do my own power cord management. I did mine with the Noco connections here, like for battery chargers. I'll put a link to this video up above. And this one has the new ACD adapter that plugs right in. You don't have to buy any other adapters for it. These are pretty much the same, no branding or decals on the side or anything like that. Both have the slot, but this one actually has now the graduations on the side to show you how much fuel's left in it, and they give you some other information on the side about the heater itself, whereas this one has nothing. And we're back to the front. Now the bottom of this one, there's nothing. It's just the bottom. It's all contained within inside. Whereas this one, as you can see, everything is under here. Your air intake's here. You can see some of your fuel line here, and your exhaust comes out the bottom. So there's the main differences between the two. Alright guys, let's go over some features on this new heater. I paid $206.12 Canadian, and that's with the Nova Scotia 15% tax on it. I ordered this right from the Vevor website itself, and it came quite quickly. Like, it was within not even a week, I don't think it got here, so that was pretty good. You can operate this thing by the Bluetooth remote, by the remote on the side here, the LCD, or you can use the app on the phone. Now, hopefully this app has been fixed. I've heard other people that did reviews on this new one said the Bluetooth app wasn't working well on the phone. It worked flawlessly on the other one, so let's hope that that changed. This does have a CO alarm. It'll go off at 300 parts per million, and at 500 parts per million, it's to shut down. But I would always carry a backup. The one caution about this one is if this is disconnected, or you think it's connected, always check it, because there's no indication to tell you when it's not plugged in. So you're not going to get a warning if that's not plugged in all the way. So check that when you're out camping. It also has a leak-proof cap, supposedly like an automotive one now. We'll see if that is the case. It has the fuel level indicator, as mentioned earlier, over the other one that I had. And this one also has overheat protection, so it'll shut down if it gets overheated. So that's a good safety feature on there. And I like the fact that it's got these fold down handles as well. It makes it more convenient for packing, etc., and stuff like that. So that's really convenient. It's not as big as bulky as my previous one, so you got these neat little fold down handles on it. What I really like about the new one is you have this nice power adapter that comes with them now, and they just plug in just like almost like a computer. So it plugs in. You also have, like I said, the one for the battery, or you could do some power source, put a cigarette lighter on that if you wanted to as well. This is the one that I made myself for the other diesel heater because it didn't come with that. So I used those Noco charging cables and, you know, soldered them, etc., and wrapped them up with shrink wrap. But that was one I bought off of Amazon, so to run that one I had to buy my own, whereas this one now comes with it. Alright guys, this is an 8 kilowatt heater. Now there's debate if these are actually 8 kilowatts. I really don't care. They're rated more or less a 5 kilowatt heater. It works, it throws out heat. I don't really care. It has a cast aluminum body with a ceramic igniter. Now they say this will burn 1 gallon per night. Now I've been running my other one all weekend for the cottage here, and it runs like all night, and I still have some left in the morning. Now that's turning it down significantly, not running it on full tilt. So they do last quite a while on a tank of diesel, so it's all depending on what level you're running it on. But if you run it on a low state overnight, it'll still throw it a heat. It won't be as much heat, but once the place is heated up, it'll just keep it more consistent. So it works well for burning overnight. So this is stated to have a 90% burn efficiency, and it's also stated at around 75 decibels. We'll see if this is any quieter. They say it is over my previous one, but we'll see when we get this thing started. Alright, this is the model ZM8006. It, for dimension wise, and it's a little bit smaller than my previous one, so it's 9.5 that way. With the legs, it's 11.5 roughly. Without the legs, it's about 9. Lengthwise, it's just slightly about 15.25. So like, that's not bad. It's compact size. Sometimes it's hard to tell in videos how big these are, but they're not that big. And for weight wise, this is, what do I have for weight on this? This thing is 20.7 pounds or 19.4 kilograms. So 20 pounds, 20-pound bag of potatoes. It's not heavy, it's easy to carry around. I put it in my sled for winter camping, and it was no problem dragging this in the field. Granted, you got to carry diesel fuel, so, but it's still portable within reason. So to mention a couple highlights about this remote, it has a timer function, it has the preheating function, it has the overheating protection, voice broadcast, and it has the power switch obviously on it. Alright, let's open this thing up. So to get into this, they're all Phillips screws, Phillip heads. There's going to be 17 of these screws to take out. Yeah, there's a lot, but let's open this up and take a look and see what it looks like inside. Alright, let's take this cover off and look inside. Alright. So typical fuel tank, they're not tied in, they just kind of flop out. The one nice thing about this new design, there's no sharp screws sticking out or sharp bars to cut any like fuel lines or any wires or anything like that, so that's definitely an upgrade. This is obviously the motor itself, the heater unit. You got your pump here. Now I wrapped my other one up because, yeah, they're noisy. They don't bug me that much, but again, I'm half deaf, so you know, some people don't like it. You kind of get used to it. Hopefully this one's quieter. I heard it is. I guess we'll find out when we start it up. Other side here, as you can see, it's all self-contained. The muffler, here's the air filter, it's inside, where my other one, I see my pipe's damaged. You got to fix that again because it's on the outside. So it's nice that it's all contained, less damage to things like this air filter hose and stuff. But I like the fact that the exhaust isn't coming out the bottom. You don't have to worry about catching grass on fire or anything like that. So that's definitely a safety feature there. So that comes in real handy, having that all inside. Anyway, we're going to look at putting a fuel filter on here. First off, we want to get this line off the top of the fuel pump here. Just squeeze that, pull that off, and we're going to pull the line off the top of the pump itself. If we can get it off. Maybe. Alright, I'm going to have to work on that. Well, that original hose was not fun to get off of that. I had to pull and pull on it. Eventually, I could have cut it off, I guess, but I got it off. I've got the new connector hose hooked to the top. And I've got the new line here. I'm going to just square this off just so it goes in nice and square. There we go. A little more square. That's actually even better. There we go, nice and square. And then you're gonna make sure that hits the other piece inside. You want them to be touching so there's no leeway in between the two, or space, I should say. Now these are fun to put in. I'll probably just get some soap or something just to get that in there, or something along that lines. Alright, we'll get back to that in a sec. Alright, I got some soap on there. What I do is I put the line up against it and put a Sharpie mark so I know when it connects with the other piece underneath, so you know it's all the way in. There we go, it's all the way in. And I don't like to crimp these too much with the pliers because it'll weaken it, but it's in. Now I'll just clamp those down and then I'll measure the rest of the line. Well, it took a little bit of fan dangling, if you want to call it, and then we got that on, so that's ready to roll. I think it's going to be a chore getting the line off underneath the bottom. I might have to take some of this apart more to do that, but we'll see here in a second. So this line was a little easier to get off this one here, and it came through this hole here, so I'll measure off the same length as that, and then I'll make room for the fuel filter. There we go. There's the length I need, and then like I said, I'll make room for the fuel filter. All right, got the fuel filter here. Now, people have varying ideas of which way it goes. The filter doesn't matter. It's going to either collect that side of the filter or it collects on the inside, and you can take these apart and clean them. I had a mechanic tell me last time it goes this way from the pump, and one guy berated me on my last video saying it was the wrong way. So I don't know. Does it really matter? As long as it's collecting anything that's debris or anything in it that doesn't get into and harm the heater itself. Anyway, we're going to put this on. Alright guys, I got her nice and tucked in here. I got the line pulled this way so it's pulled away from the exhaust. It's kind of a weird design while they have that fuel line coming near the exhaust, but anyway, it is what it is. I got it pulled up and tucked down here, the other side of the air filter here. And then this is just going to tuck down underneath the edge here. I just got to make sure I just watch out when I put the screw in that it's not contacting the fuel line. So anyway, that's done. I'll get this thing tightened back up again. Okay guys, one word of caution about these. These are just sheet metal screws. If you screw these in too tight, you're going to strip them. So just put them until you feel them snug up. Right there, just a little twist and that's it. Yeah, like I said, if you put them too tight, they're done, and then you'll have to figure out some way to secure the cover. You don't want to be getting to that point, so yeah, just don't over torque them. The boards are pretty much dry now. I'm going to put those countersink holes in here just so that they don't split it when it goes in the lag bolts. There's one. Two. There, we'll put those on now. Get those started in there. There we go. I'll get that one in and get the other two in and we're done, and I'll show you the finished product. Well guys, I got the legs on here. I don't like it. You can tell it's too wobbly. This is just crap metal. It's gonna bend, so I'm gonna have to put a support at some point across here to keep that from collapsing. But once that's done, it'll be alright. But yeah, that's kind of sucks. I thought they might have been a little more robust than that, but not like the other one. Oh well, I'll rectify that later. So I didn't like the bases on the diesel heater, so I took another piece of board. I just countersinked some holes and this doesn't split it. some more lag bolts. This is going to go in between the two supports that I put on previously, so I'll show you what this looks like in a minute once I get it all put together. So the brackets are going to go on like that, and these will mount onto the two previous ones I put the other cross members, so it'll be on 4 of these. A little, like I said, overkill, but I'd rather have a nice solid base for it so it doesn't tip over, and so I can lug it around and throw it in a toboggan or whatever, and it'll sit flat. Won't tip over, no diesel spills. And I'll get this bolted up. Got the one in, seemed to go in all right. No splitting of the wood. Would have got slightly smaller, but they didn't have any bulk packs of anything smaller than this. Could have gone like an inch or 3/4, I guess. But that's all they had. That's what I bought. There, nice and strong. Put the rest on, show you what it looks like. There we go, it's all done. Watching Cabin River Outdoors here. Guy from BC has an outdoor cabin he's building in that, living off grid. Anyway, there it is. I'll start to mount this up to the unit itself. Well, I got it done. A little overkill. You know, the brackets are on both sides, but it doesn't move now. Solid base, it's heavy, it won't tip over. Won't have a chance of it tipping over in the vehicle and spilling diesel in the truck. Don't want that smell in there. You know, and I'll be lugging it in a sled for ice fishing or in the truck. It's used here at the camp. If I'm in my wall tent, obviously I'm going to be lugging it in my truck as well. So the added weight, no big deal to me, but I wanted a nice stable platform for it to sit on, and now I have it. All right, we're going to get this muffler going here, this portion. Now these mufflers do have drainage on the bottom as well, and like they do make a difference. I mean, they are actually baffled. You can see, like, you can't see through it, whereas the one that comes with it, it's just, yeah, it's not great. Let's see what I can do here with this. Put that on there like that, and then this can help hold the exhaust wrap on there. I think that's a good idea. She gets pretty hot, but this should hold it. It is exhaust wrap. The other one that I have on the other heater hasn't burnt or become brittle or anything, so, but it does get pretty hot. Alright, we'll make sure that's on here good. I think that's pretty tight. Yep, it's on there. So what we'll do is we'll bend this out straight, and then we'll I just keep it like this and store it like this. I don't even bother bending it back. It just make it brittle, so I just kind of leave my other one just straight like this. There we go. Alright, I'll start getting the other end here ready, and I'll show you that in a sec. Well, I got this all done. I just folded this underneath so it wouldn't unravel. Put the clamp around that, and it's solid. I was going to put these ones in the middle here, but it's on there pretty good. I don't think I really need them. It moves around a little bit, but it's not that bad. And obviously the clamp here holds on the muffler, and I'll just carry it as one unit. Not the most portable, but I mean, you could bend that, I guess, if you needed to make it a little bit more compact. But yeah, perfect. I don't think I need to do that. It's better than that wrap that I put on the other one. It was like I got attacked by a porcupine. All the little like bristles that come off of the fiberglass and that just make you so itchy and stick in your skin. So this was a way better choice this time. Alright guys, let's get this thing started up. Now this little Blue 80, the AC2A and my AC70 will both start the other one there and this one on the cigarette lighter. So certain power banks will start these. The Blue 80s, I can tell you for sure, will start them on the cigarette lighter adapter. So here's the QR code for the Bluetooth app. I have iOS, and it's also for Android. Alright, download from the App Store. So it is different than my other one. So it's called Air Heater CC. Yeah, it is a different app. Alright, we'll download that and we'll be looking at this in a little bit. Alright guys, the inaugural burn-in and start. Let's see what happens. Oh, the Bluetooth remote works. Of course my dog starts barking. Not sure why I can't see the controller too well though. Maybe there's a brightness level or something. The pump hasn't kicked in yet. There we go, there's the pump. Now I didn't prime it. We'll see if it primes on its own and starts. Sometimes you'll get an error. Now, do I find this one any quieter than the other one? Not really. Let's see if there's it's coming out of here. Nothing warm yet, but it hasn't fired up yet either, so. See if the Bluetooth app will connect. No hot air yet. I'm not sure if it's going to shut down, if it got enough fuel through the lines. We'll find out here in a second, I guess. Well, I haven't been able to connect the Bluetooth remote, or should say the app yet. Oh, the app did connect now. Great, awesome. I wasn't sure. I was worried about that issue people were having, but it seems to be working. It's running 12 volts at the moment for current voltage. It says the temperature is 22. I smell diesel or exhaust. I'm not sure if it's just trying to ignite it, if it doesn't have enough fuel yet. According to this, it's still drawing current. But it hasn't lit per se yet. Well, I'm going to shut it off for now and I'll just see if it gets going here. I'll let you know in a sec. Well, it's taken off this time. I think it just wasn't primed. There might have been an airlock. I got it out of the system, so now she's burning. Some fuel came out of the exhaust, and yeah, it seems like she's winding up this time. Yep, there's heat coming out now. Not a lot yet, but we'll see what goes on here. This new remote, I'm going to have to look at a little better there and figure out what's what on it. I know there's like a priming function, clock. You can set the heater as well, like to come on and off, and it's got like plateau mode, like the other one I have does. So a little learning curve there. I'll have to just look over that. Yeah, she's winding up now. So yeah, the shell temperature is going up now. It's going up like by 2 degrees Celsius each one. So the this can just blow air as well. It's interesting. I found that when I was playing with it. And it's got heating mode, plateau mode, and then it's got a model manually, it says. So I guess you can just do things manually. It's burning off the stuff off of that. That's good. That's hence why I started it up, to burn off all the crap. So it's up to 96 degrees Celsius, 98, 100. Oh yeah, she's blowing nice hot air. Up to 112 now, as you can see on here. Burning off all the oils, I guess whatever's in that exhaust wrap. Stinks. Alright, well, we'll let that keep heating up and we'll see what happens. We're up to 128 degrees Celsius. 130, so she's going up. See what's coming. The exhaust is nice and clean too. No smoke just on the beginning. Oh yeah, she's blowing nice hot air. I'd say it's actually relatively quiet. It might be slightly quieter than my other one. Had a nice rubber boot around the pump there, as you saw earlier, so that might be helping some of the vibration, because I think when they're up against like the metal or anything solid, that's when you get that tap 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 more pronounced than if it's got some kind of, you know, cushioning system on it. No, now that she's going, she's good. Just had that little hiccup there. I didn't prime it per se like manually, so but now it's taken off now. Another Vevor heater for the collection. So I took the quick connect here. See, it's got those little slots and they're on the top there. Put it on, turn it, it snaps in. Then I got the dryer hose on, and I'll tape this up to keep this like secure. Of course, you got your other end, and I'll put the attachments on this end. It's blowing nice hot air now. Oh, sorry guys, you're gonna have to contend with my neighbor brush cutting over there. So this was the other extra kit I got from Vevor as well. So I took that, I put them on. It usually tears this when you clamp these down. So once I'm finished, I take this electrical tape and tape around it. Keeps that piece of metal from the clamp from cutting anything as well. I clamp these all on. And these are flexible enough to get in my little box. I'll show you in a minute for storage. And of course you get the two vents. You can put that in your tent or whatever, and it blows it out two ways. And then I did the same thing down here with the quick connect. Taped it all up to keep it from coming through. And it works perfect. So all ready for camping. There you go. Well guys, these bins are the perfect size. I get these ones at Canadian Tire. These are the, what are these? The 45 liter bin. Now the other one I have, I've got a little piece of rope I put through the middle. I'll do that eventually to make it more compact, like tie this all together, like loop it back in. but it'll fit in here all right. Just have to kind of squeeze it in a little bit, but they're the perfect size bin for transporting these. Just like that, you get it all in the box and you're good to go. You carry some extra parts if you need it. So I also picked up these after the fact, these Camco sewer hose clamps for travel trailers. Make it quick and easy for taking off. You can make it more compact or change your design in the way you have it laid out. So those are not that expensive. I got them at Canadian Tire in Canada. So a couple of buttons here. This one on the top is obviously the OK key. And then number 2 is the on-off button and an encoding switch. And then the number 3 down here is the set key. So to get over to prime, just hold the OK button in and rotate over to that one there. Hit OK. And it starts priming, but obviously we already done that, so we don't need to do that again. Yeah, it's off. Try to go through some other features here for you as well. Alright, to enter the function menu, you hold the OK button in. And you get to the... That's to adjust the clock. ST is to set the timing. That is to hit the oil pump or like pump the diesel. Then RF is the remote control. And the UN is the unit switching, like from Fahrenheit to Celsius. And then that's for switching the Bluetooth on again. So for example, if you want to change the units to Fahrenheit, go to the UN, hold the OK button in. Now it should be in Fahrenheit, which it is. And to change it back, just go back into the menu again, hit units, hold the OK button in. And if you hit it again, back at Celsius. Alright, let's start this thing up. So it's on the heat setting right now. You can just see in the book here what it says. It's similar to my other one, except just this is a little bit different with the rotary dial. So this is currently on the heat setting. So you can go all the way up to max 6. It also has plateau mode, which the plateau mode allows you to compensate for elevation. So if you're at sea level or in a mountain height, it'll adjust to that. Then you've got manual mode where you can set the temperature to what you want it to be. Alright, it's in heating mode. It's at the top right now at number 5, but I'll put it down to 1 and you'll hear the RPMs decrease. So it's pretty simple in that mode. Now if I switch over to manual mode, you'll see now it's in the temperature. So you can decrease the temperature or obviously increase it up to a max of, 40 degrees Celsius. And then the RPMs will increase again. So that's pretty simple that way to change those. I'm just doing it off the app. What's interesting though, when I switch to plateau mode, it seems to shut down. Let's try that again. Now it is in plateau mode, as you can see by the symbol at the top here. Let's try hitting that back off again here on the app and see what happens. And there we go, it's off. So you know when plateau mode is on, when you see that kind of mountain range at the top of the display there. So now I just turned it off, so now it'll shut down. I guess the blow air mode would be okay if you were, I guess, trying to bring some fresh air in without running the heater. Might be a benefit there. Not sure why they have that. I've never heard anybody talk about it, but my assumption is just to bring air in. And the booklet's pretty good too. They show you the error codes and stuff like that. And I find this app is kind of not as good as the other heater. I don't know why they switched apps, but this one's doesn't seem as work as well. Like, it's very slow, doesn't react to the heater. Hey guys, one important thing with these is you got to let them shut down on their own. Let it go through the cycle. Don't just pull the power off. It'll just gum up the machine totally. You might not be able to get it started properly. The other thing is your exhaust, always have it either horizontal or pointed downward. Never have it pointed upwards. They can gather excess condensation at times in them. So put that way and let it shut down properly, and you shouldn't have any issues. So starting at the top, we have the Bluetooth icon, the settings icon. Below that, we have what heater you're connected to, followed by what mode you're going to be in when you're connected. Then you have the plus and minus to increase or decrease the temperature. Then you have the current voltage of what the heater is drawing, the altitude, the shell temperature of the heater when operating, the ambient temperature. Then you have that modes below air, heating, plateau, in model, which turns into manual when operating. So this is what it actually looks like when the heater is connected to the Bluetooth app on your phone. So you'll see the temperature changing. Yours is actually in shutdown mode, but you can actually see what it looks like when you're actually connected. So if you select the settings icon in the top right corner, you'll enter the setup menu. First off, you'll find the unit switch. When you select that, you can pick Celsius or Fahrenheit, feet or meters. When you move into the language selection, you have multiple languages to choose from. And timer settings is amazing. You can set it for a whole week to turn on and off, so you don't even have to monitor it. It does it itself. And you can make it repeat or execute it once. Then you can move into an automatic start and stop mode. And finally, you can look at the user manual. All the errors are here. Any issues with it you can find here. If you're having a problem, there's a multitude of things you can read here to help you out if you're having troubles. Well guys, I hope you like this one. Thanks for watching. These diesel heaters are great. You know, they're not high end. They're not going to last forever, but you know what? For my uses, for hot tent camping, for heating the cabin here in the winter off and on, and for like using in the ice fishing tent as well. They got so many uses. I mean, for what they are and the money you pay for them, they're worth it. $200, you know, I think they're good. Any questions or comments, put them down the bottom there. I'm sure there will be some. This was one of my most popular videos, not this one, but the other one was. So hopefully you learned something from this one and the new upgrades they've done to these Vevor heaters. These diesel heaters, like I said, are great and they have a purpose in the field. If you like this one, please like and subscribe, support the channel. As I always say, BlueSea out, live off the land. Well guys, I forgot to mention, check out the link below and save a few bucks on the Vevor diesel heater. Check out my affiliate link in the description.